Today's video is dividing mixed numbers. This is a four-step process that I think you'll already be comfortable with if you have already been able to divide fractions. Step one will always be to change your mixed numbers into improper fractions. As you learn from multiplication, you cannot multiply or divide mixed numbers in that format. They must be changed to improper fractions first. Step two is then to remember, reciprocal the right fraction only. After you reciprocal the right fraction, you then turn your division problem into a multiplication problem. You'll then multiply, and in many cases, your answer will end up being an improper fraction. In that case, you'll change it back to a mixed number. Of course, if your answer needs to be simplified, you'll make sure you'll do that as well. And if your answer comes out as a standard fraction, that the numerator is smaller than the denominator, there will be no need to change to a mixed number. So step four is depending on your circumstances. We'll do several examples. We'll start with a mixed number being divided by just a regular fraction. Now we're still going to follow step one, which is to change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19 over 5, divided by 2/5. Now that's our new problem. Now we're going to remember to reciprocal our right fraction and change to multiplication. In this situation, I can cross cancel or simplify on the diagonal. 19 times 1 is 19. 1 times 2 is 2. In this case, we do have an improper fraction. 19 divided by 2 is 9, with a remainder of 1, which means our answer is 9, with 1 as a numerator, and our denominator stays the same. So 3 and 4/5 divided by 2/5 is 9 1/2. We have another example. Again, we are dividing a mixed number by a standard fraction. Again, we're going to change that mixed number into an improper fraction. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10 over 7, divided by 2/3. Now I'm going to rename this by changing to my reciprocal and changing to multiplication. I always take the time to rewrite my question as a division problem with the improper fractions first, to make sure I don't forget the step to reciprocal. Many students try to do reciprocal on their first step, and sometimes as a result of that, they forget. So I always like to rewrite it and follow that same standard procedure. Now in this case, I can only cross cancel the 2 and the 10 by dividing both by a factor of 2. 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 1 is 7. 15 divided by 7 is 2, with a remainder of 1. I write that with a 2, with a numerator of 1. My denominator stays the same. So 1 3/7 divided by 2/3 is 2 1/7. You'll note again, just like with division of fractions, that many times if you're dividing by a fraction, you're going to end up getting an answer, a quotient that's actually larger than your dividend. So just be aware of that. In this situation, we're actually dividing a mixed number by a whole number. Again, we're not going to change the rules here. We're still going to follow the same guidelines of changing first our mixed numbers into improper fractions. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 4 is 34 over 5, divided by 5 over 1. And this would be a very typical problem where someone might forget to reciprocal that right fraction because they see those 5s across. It's very tempting. So you're going to make sure you still follow that second step, reciprocal that right fraction, change to multiplication, and we're going to do 34 times 1 is 34, 5 times 5 is 25, and 34 divided by 25 one time with a remainder of 9. So our answer is 1 with a numerator 9, and our denominator stays the same. Moving on, here's our first mixed number divided by a mixed number. And you'll notice there's really no difference here other than the fact that you now have two mixed numbers to change to improper fractions. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 1 is 33 over 4. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3 over 2. Remember, that's division, which means that we're going to need to rewrite this with the reciprocal, changing to multiplication. We have an excellent opportunity to cross cancel or simplify on the diagonal, also known as simplifying before you multiply. Divide this by 2, divide this by 2. divide this by 3, divided this by 3. 11 times 1 is 11. 2 times 1 is 2. 11 divided by 2 is 5, with the remainder of 1. 5 with the numerator 1, and our denominator stays the same. Now here's a circumstance where we have to divide and add. Remembering our algebraic order of operations, we know that since there are no parentheses or exponents, all multiplication and division must occur before addition and subtraction. Now we know that our rules for dividing a whole number by a mixed number is to change them both into improper fractions. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6 over 5. And we need to remember to reciprocal that right fraction to change to multiplication. We can cross cancel, dividing both by a factor of 3. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. Now we must realize that now we need to add 1/2 to 5 over 2 because 5 over 2 was our quotient, but we still have that second step. Since we already have common denominators, we can go and add our numerators, but don't forget your denominator stays the same here. You don't add your denominators with addition. Many people prefer to add in the vertical format to make sure that they don't accidentally add those denominators. So 6 over 2 would then need to be divided. 6 divided by 2 goes 3 times with no remainder. So our whole answer will be the whole number 3. Another situation where we need to follow the order of operations, and you'll note that it's subtraction then division. But remember, our order of operations says all multiplication and division must be done before addition and subtraction. So this is the part we're going to do first. Still following the same procedures. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4 over 3, divided by 2 over 1. We remember to reciprocal our right fraction, change to multiplication, cross cancel when possible. These are both divisible by a factor of 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. Now we have the fraction 2/3, which must be subtracted from 3 2/3. This is an ideal situation because no work really even needs to be shown. You're just subtracting 2/3 from 2/3, giving you the answer of 3. Now this one's a little more challenging. Again, following the order of operations, which we follow parentheses, then exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Typically, if this problem was just multiplication and division, you'd go left to right. But because the division part is in parentheses, we must first solve the division component. Again, following all those guidelines, we're going to change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14 over 5, and divided by 5 over 1. Again, we're going to rewrite this, making our reciprocal of the right fraction, changing to multiplication. We're going to multiply 14 times 1 is 14. 5 times 5 is 25. Now, this problem is going to then leave us with 3 1/8 times 14 over 25. Remember, with multiplication, we do need to change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. This is already a standard fraction, so 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25 over 8. Keep in mind, folks, this is multiplication already. So there's no need to reciprocal, which is ideal because we have 25s across from each other. They cancel out to 1s. The 8 and the 14 also cancel out. They have a factor of 2, changing the 8 to a 4 and the 14 to a 7. 1 times 7 is 7. 4 times 1 is 4. Our final answer, because 7 divided by 4 is 1 with a remainder of 3. Our answer is 1 with a numerator 3, and our denominator stays the same. In every example, we followed the guidelines of changing first to improper fractions, remembering to reciprocal the right fraction, then multiplying, and in many cases change to a mixed number. Those are the directions for dividing mixed numbers. Good luck. Thanks for sticking around till the end.